Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about the graphic novel. So a lot of you like to read graphic novels, and you might not know a few terms that are particular to the genre. So first, what is a graphic novel? A graphic novel is a self-contained book-length comic. So some of you may have seen like those comic books like Superman or Archie comics, which Riverdale is based off of. I know a lot of you like that show. So those are comics because they're like little short issues, while graphic novels are more book length, and they have like literary elements. So for instance, To Kill a Mockingbird also is in graphic novel form. A lot of times now we see books that are already books being turned into graphic novels, like The Giver and The Breadwinner. I put this here because I know a lot of you like Raina Telgemeier, and this is Whitebird by R.J. Palacio. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The author of Wonder wrote a book about the Holocaust. So take a lot of different genres: realistic fiction, historical fiction, dystopia, and they are book length. Okay, so a few key terms. So there's a lot of terms with graphic novels, but I just picked out a select few. So one is a panel. So that would just be an individual frame. So like one square or rectangle. And they're not always going to be square or rectangle. Sometimes you might see the author kind of play around with the shapes, but most often they're square and rectangle. Graphic weight is a term that describes some images that draw the eye more than others. So over here in this book, this is from the book Persepolis. And over here, this picture in the bottom left has more graphic weight because for some reason the author wanted to draw your eye to that image and emphasize its importance. And then a spread is a panel that fills a whole page, sometimes two. So if you see a spread, you might want to think about like, why did the author want this image to fill 2 pages? Was it just because it could not be contained in the panel, or were they trying to like really point something out, or was it just like a really important scene? So more about images. In most images, you're going to see 3 different areas. The background. So this image, the background's all in red. And then the midground, drawings are placed in the middle. I think this is from Superman, I'm not sure. So they're in the middle, see the blue, okay? And then the foreground. And here this person made it green to show us. So foreground is whatever's closest to us. So when you see something like this, and again, it's not always going to happen, think about, why did the author want to put whatever they put in the foreground? Why did they want you to really focus in on that? For this, we can think about, well, it's probably the most important part of the scene. This person is injured or worse. And he's kind of in the foreground too because he's trying to figure it out. And then we have what looks like civilians and officers kind of in the background, in the midground. Okay, so it's kind of just thinking about why the author, the artist did that. Another thing that's very particular to graphic novels is color and shading. So the reason I say color and shading is because there are graphic novels that don't have any colors at all. So it's important to note that it can just be done with shading as well. So this is 2 images or 2 different pages from the book Sheets by Brenna Thumler. This can be found on Epic Books if you're interested in reading it. So on this page, we have this ghost who is maybe like reading a scary story. As it says, it was a dark and stormy night. So the author drew kind of almost without color. It looks like there's some blues in here and shaded to give the tone kind of an eerie or maybe sad feel. Where over here, this is a scene in which the character is remembering her mom, who's no longer with her. And so it's a happy memory because the mom is teaching her piano. So since it's such a happy memory, the author made the image brighter. So what I want you to do, or what we want you to do, is study the images on this slide and think about the author's use of shading and color. okay? So we can kind of see different colors and different shades side to side. So think about why that is. And then notice the placement of certain images. So when we talked about midground, foreground, background, kind of think about that. There'll be more specifics on the Google Doc, which you can complete and then turn in today. All right, have a good day.